We have not talked about Jordan Peterson for a while, but he is back on the sort of speaking trail. And our colleague John sent me this clip from Jordan Peterson at Stanford University a few days ago. This was on, I guess it was a couple weeks ago. This was a sort of an event on classical liberalism at the Graduate School of Business at Stanford University. And I don't even know how to explain this. Jordan Peterson started weeping because he's so upset about climate activism, not climate change. He's not upset because of climate change. He's upset because of climate activism. And he seems unstable, completely unhinged, really seems to have lost it. I'm going to play a couple minutes because you've got to see the lead up. And the lead up is he finds it so upsetting that sometimes people are negative about the outlook of the planet and humanity. And he says that the problem is that people are being, people are getting depressed because of climate activists. Okay, check this out.
Shouldn't even have any children. It's like, no, there's no excuse for that. There's zero excuse for that. I saw a professor at an event, something like this. He came out and trumpeted this bloody environmentally friendly house he built. And, you know, fair enough, man. It was a pretty interesting house, but not everybody had the $4 million that it took him to build it. And I'm not criticizing his money even. It's like, he's had some money, good for him. He built a house, okay. But then to trumpet that as a moral virtue, well, you're pushing it there. And then he came out to all the kids and he said, you know, my wife and I decided that we were only going to have one child. And I think that's one of the most ethical things we could have possibly done. And I would strongly encourage you to do the same. I thought, you son of a bitch. You get up in front of these young people. A lot of these kids were children of first-generation immigrants from China. And he showed all these images, you know, of these terrible factories in China, these endless rows of sterile mechanism that were subordinating all the Chinese people to this terrible, you know, capitalist machine. And I thought,
if you're still following this, it's about to get really weird.
Don't understand. Half the audience is looking at those factories and thinking, that's a hell of a lot better than struggling through the mud under Mao, buddy. And so I don't know where he thought he was, but to come out in front of all those kids and basically tell them that the whole human enterprise is so goddamn corrupt that the best thing they could possibly do is limit their multiplication, and to think of himself as a scholar and an educator, it was just, I did say something, by the way. It was rather uncomfortable, and he stomped off the stage. But that's no message for young people. There's no excuse for that. And you think, well, you know, we're going to destroy the planet. We have to do this. We have to demoralize the youth to be ethical. It's like, yeah, really, that's your theory? You're going to demoralize young people to be ethical? That's your theory? It's like, you should go home and think about that for like a year. And I'm passionate about this, you know, because you have no idea how many people that's killing. You have no idea. I see people everywhere, all over the world. They're so demoralized, especially young people with a conscience, because they've been told since they were little that there's nothing to them but corruption and power. It's like, how the hell do you expect them to react?
So this is bizarre, obviously. There's a real difference between young people are told that you are made up of corruption and whatever, and hey, we have some hard problems that we're facing and they need to be solved. And you might make choice. I mean, there's an entire movement. I think it's called the anti-natalist, which basically says like, we can't bring people, everybody should stop reproducing because we are rapidly heading towards a lack of sustainability and on and on and on. Now, I happen to disagree with that. I think the way we solve our problems is actually by reproducing and creating people that are going to solve these problems. That's my view, because I guess I'm more optimistic than pessimistic. But this whole thing, weeping because people learn that things aren't looking so good in some senses, that it would be immoral to hide everyone from that. Now, I'm with you. We don't want to demoralize people. No, we want to say, hey, look at all these problems humanity has solved. And then here are the problems now facing us, and let's solve them. But I would be crying over how we're destroying the planet, not about how kids might find it upsetting that we're destroying the planet. That seems very, very backwards. And another one of these really weird weepy, he he seems emotionally dysregulated is what that seems like. And also sort of wrong on the facts, if you can be both at once, which clearly you can.